Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Grab a beverage of your choice, because today we are doing yet another edition of Frightful Friday Nights, and I was split between doing it on a movie I saw called Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, or doing the latest episode of Dead City. So I'm going to do Dead City. This episode is called People Are a Resource. This is an excellent series. If you haven't seen it before, it's got Maggie and Negan in it. This takes place after the not Fear of the Walking Dead, but The Walking Dead, and after events in the final episode. Her child supposedly has been kidnapped by a guy in Manhattan. So she goes looking for Negan because Negan knows the guy. The guy worked for Negan before and was too psycho even for Negan. And so she hunts Negan down and gets him, and it's like, we've got to go get my child, her son. So this is the third episode. We have Negan and her in Manhattan. They've joined up with a group of survivors in Manhattan, and they are working on a way to get into the stadium where the bad guy is with all his group of people, and so Maggie can get her son back. And there's also a young girl that Negan had been traveling with, just quiet little Asian girl who he was basically kind of taking care of. So in this one, you find out more about the relationship between Negan and the young child whose name I can't remember. And he was just so kind to her, and it's kind of a dichotomy in the sense of how he is to most other people, because now you're beginning to see his dark side come back out. He's becoming a pragmatist again and being horribly violent when he needs to be to get what he needs, because he's trying to help Maggie get the son back, and dealing with this group of people who don't trust them. He and Maggie don't really, they still have their issues going because, hey, why wouldn't they? I mean, it obviously makes sense that she wouldn't really trust him and all that, but and you get a better peek inside the compound of the bad guys, because you're dealing with a marshal from a city who is trying to go after Negan because Negan is wanted for the killing of a couple of marshals. And so in People Are a Resource, it kind of ups the stakes, because Negan he's kind of the one they don't trust, and by extension her, because they don't most of the people in the group want to help, but there's this one guy who's just like, no, we're not doing this, because I think he senses something in Negan that he's just like, no. So there's that little verbal dancing around on this, and you have the marshal who had been captured by the bad guys and is trying to figure a way to get out of this, and is getting stuck in some positions on what to do to survive, how to get out of, this guy's obviously a nut job. People are obviously a nut job. How does he work on it? And it's only the third issue in, and it's episode in, and it's getting really suspenseful. It reminds me back of the first season or two of The Walking Dead, where you just don't know who you can trust, what you can do, You've got a whole city now, an island city where there's no bridges to get off. You've got just this whole wave of walkers, Walking Dead. Some of them are falling out of the sky because they're up in the buildings, and you've got the human bad guys to deal with, and your supposed allies, and so it's just building and building, and they're doing a nice pace with it, because they're moving things forward, and in the process you're getting some of the background, so stuff isn't getting forced in there, even though they do have a lot of of the trope of back when I was a kid, like, all right, yes, people don't do that all that much, but it fits. It really does fit. I'm really enjoying this series. The acting is just, they aren't overplaying it. Negan is still being the kind of the guy, and then you're getting to see the flashes of the old Negan coming out, so it's going to be coming at some point. But he's not completely over the top like he was when he first got there. It's kind of like a 180, and the pressure's building up, and you can sort of see she's struggling on how much to trust him and what to do, and the pressure of her trying to find her kid, and how much do I go, and it's just this kind of a slow burn, and wow, I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5, and just say, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, watch it. Even if you're not necessarily a fan of The Walking Dead, this is new enough. You really don't have to have a lot of knowledge of The Walking Dead per se to watch this series. If you go with 1, 2, and 3, you get enough of a background in there, the basics to watch and know what's going on. Negan, asshole, bad guy. Her husband murdered by him, son kidnapped by a guy's protege. They're in there trying to get him, and they're surrounded by zombies and a bunch of asshole humans. So yeah, it's awesome. Not pick it up, but watch and give it a shot. 4.5 out of 5, and like, subscribe, most of all. Enjoy your zombie shows.